Aimee Connolly, you talk a lot about your community. Like for somebody that's a startup, like how they can develop it.
It's funny, I often, like I said, I speak about it a lot because it's been inherently a part of us since day dot. I think it's something that has to organically manifest itself within what you're doing. I think whenever something like a community feels forced, the lack of authenticity is very clear and people are very aware these days. So I think community is essentially about making people feel a part of something. You involve them, be it in decisions, in events, in activations, in products, whatever your business line might be. It started for me because I was a makeup tutor before the brand. So I naturally had a cohort of people that I would say, what do you think about this? Or what's your thoughts on this product? And then that just translated to a wider, broader community as we've grown. I think the biggest thing is keeping it real to what you are doing and what your ambitions are, and making them essentially feel a part of something bigger.
How important is it for you to stay on brand, to keep that authenticity?
Regardless of what your brand is, I think brand as itself, the main succeeding factor for it is that you stay consistent. And when you stay consistent, it's not to say that you can't pivot and try and, be more relevant at times where you need to, but I think the more that you try and chase a trend that isn't yours, the more you're just deviating and confusing a customer actually as to who you are and what you believe in and why should they be a part or feel seen by the brand. So I think consistency is absolutely key, but within that you can be playful and you can modernize yourself and you can be more relevant, like I said, as you grow. But trying to chase a fad or a trend, I think is a race to the bottom.
You don't gatekeep at all when it comes to talking about your business. I was actually shocked. You mentioned that you had savings of €10,000 and just Googled cosmetic manufacturer, and that's how you found your first product manufacturer. What was the driving force behind it?
So I had been working for myself since I was 19. I was graduating at the time when I was considering, what do I do now? Do I go into a company? Do I stay working for myself? So there was no light bulb moment of like, this is the day it's going to happen. It was of course I'll just stay doing this. I'm really enjoying it. Sure, it'll be grand. Everything will just be grand. Don't overthink it and just take that first step, which was going onto Google, and figure the rest out as it happens.
Talk about the bad days, because the first 5 years, let's be honest, are so tough in business. Who do you turn to with, when you're having one of those days? Like if you haven't cried in the first 5 years of your business, there's something you're doing either wrong or right, but like who do you turn to?
I would say it goes on well beyond the 5 years, just FYI. I think I'm very lucky. I have a very supportive mom. We've got a small household, so we've always been very supportive of each other. My husband is great. He is well accustomed to a good walk with me where I'll just vent and let it all out. My friends have known me as this Aimee who's working all the hours of the week since I was 16. So when you're working to that level and you adore it, you do also have to sacrifice some things. Now I would say I juggle a lot of it quite well, but there are certain things you have to bow out of, so they're also really supportive in that. So I think around me I am very lucky to have great support network, but then also internally an amazing team, particularly as we've grown together. We're doing a lot of these things for the first time amongst all of us.
Do you find it tough being the boss?
Yeah, I think, by nature, if I was being really honest, I am someone who likes to be liked. You care about what other people think. No one teaches you how to be a HR director or how to build a team. You have an idea of a product, so that can definitely be challenging. People are definitely the most challenging part. For me personally also, because I genuinely care a lot, but I think that's great. I think you have to channel that empathy, and sometimes you have to make really hard decisions, and that can be really tough. But I've also grown from a person from having to make those.
Talk a lot about your legacy. What is the legacy you want to leave behind?
Just growing a global brand that's loved around the world, that makes many makeup bags so happy, which I believe we can. But then on the personal side, it's doing it the right way. Staying a nice person, doing good for others around you, staying humble, staying true to who you are, and just doing it the right way.